What is going on, DB gang? It's your boy, DBGTX-YT, or DB for short. And today we got a drop. Yeah, I've been meaning to do this video for the past 2 days. 2 days. It's been 2 days, okay? So I'm sorry, guys, that this took me so long, but we are here. I want to go ahead, first of all, before I even get started, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to PS360HD2, which he was the one who uploaded this video over on his YouTube end. Of course, the original video come directly from the Japanese convention that they had, where they were showcasing some gameplay for upcoming games. And in this particular case, we are definitely talking about Dragon Ball Z Kakarrot. That is right. So I have not talked about Dragon Ball Kakarrot in about a month, give and take. I haven't made a video in that regard since I dropped those what ifs and whatnot, you know. Since then, these are a few things that have been touched upon. The first thing is, there has been leaks. Word from the Spanish media, at least from leaked footage, it looked like a leaked footage that I saw about a week ago from Twitter, had it that it was a photo of South City. If you do know, a lot of people wonder if you don't know where South City is. South City is the place where the androids first appeared, Android 19 and 20, or the original were 17 and 18 in Trunks' timeline. But there was a photo that went around Twitter, and I think on Reddit also, where it showed Goku flying towards South City. So a lot of people are implying that this game is actually going to go up to the Cell saga due to that. What can I say? What I can tell you guys thus far, as by my own investigation and from my own feedbacks from looking through Reddit, even though those leaks have not been 100% confirmed by Bandai or anybody else, with the 4 characters that have been confirmed playable, the rest of these characters are supposed to be what you call assist characters. So the following are assist characters: Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, Krillin, right? And then the playable characters are Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and Piccolo. Those are the 4 playable thus far. The only other person that they could possibly add to make it at least to the end of the Cell Saga would have to be Trunks, like I am explaining and have been explaining at the very beginning. If you give Trunks, or you add Trunks gameplay, then you'll be able to do, let's say, the history of Trunks. You'll be able to do, and this already confirms the fact that this can possibly go all the way up to the end of the Cell Saga due to that. So I'll admit when I'm wrong in that sense, that you can actually make it all the way up to the end of the Cell Saga now with these confirmed characters. One, you can make the case that by the end of the next trailer, they'll probably reveal Trunks. So that'll be the 5th character that you can use. So then you'll be able to do the parts of the history of Trunks. You'll be able to do the Vegeta fights against Android 19, Android 20, the fights between Piccolo and Dr. Gero, the fight between Android 18 and Vegeta. That's because Vegeta is already confirmed. So those are things that I already can go ahead and like tick on and stuff like that. With Gohan being playable as a main character, means that we can get the ending to the Cell Sagas because Gohan is there, and more than likely we'll get to be able to use 2 versions of Gohan, which would be Kid Gohan and Teen Gohan. Nonetheless, that's just thinking further ahead with the 4 confirmed characters, possibly 5th confirmed character with Trunks. I see the fact that they could actually go past the Frieza saga. But then there's the debate as to why they're giving so much fill into a lot of the Namek and a lot of the Saiyan Saga aspects of things. So there's a lot of fights between Namek and the Saiyan Saga that there are screenshots to. The fight between Vegeta versus Kiwi has been confirmed. The fight between Vegeta versus Doria, Gohan and Krillin versus Doria, you know, running away, mini games like running away from the T-Rex has been confirmed. The training on King Kai's planet has been confirmed. All of these stuff make these particular arcs bigger and more, you know, expansive per se, in order to get from point A to point B. So in that case, that means that if they do the Android Saga, we will have we can have pretty much of we can have pretty much we can have a fully immersive 3 arcs: the Saiyan arc, the Namek arc, and the Cell arc, with those 5 characters. And somewhere in the ballpark of about 80 to 90 hours of gameplay, if I'm looking at what I'm looking at, including the movies and everything. So I'm treading carefully with those particular things. The other part of all this also is the new gameplay trailer that they also dropped. So we're gonna go ahead and hop right into it, and I'm gonna go ahead and break it down for you guys exactly, you know, what I got from the gameplay trailer and you know what to expect. That means there's some mechanics that are being shown, and you know how giant battles work versus how, you know, fighting regular players work. So those are things that we're about to check out. So let's go ahead and get to that video real quick. As you guys can see, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this real quick. So they're speaking in Chinese, and I guess this is before you go ahead, and this is after you fight. Right here, what we have on screen currently right now is after you fight. And shout out to my boy PS360HD again, like I said beforehand. He is the provider of this particular video. Also, shout out to Toei and Bandai Namco for the exclusive footage and whatnot. What ends up happening is that we're about to go in this particular gameplay video. This starts off in between after Goku's death or whatever. I guess Piccolo goes ahead and meets up with Tien and Chaozu to train with them or whatever. And Piccolo tells Chaozu that he's too weak for the training or whatever. Chaozu uses his psychic powers to stop Piccolo. And that causes, you know, prompts the battle to start. You know, between 2 against 1 or whatever. Obviously, Piccolo tells them, you know, I could take both of you guys on or some shit like that. That's where the battle begins, and this is where we get the actual real life gameplay footage. Besides the Raditz fight that we had earlier, which whoever's playing. Okay, so real quick, because I'm not gonna go to. Okay, so you saw that line that was appearing there when he shot the beam. Here's what's happening. So when they go ahead and do a special attack on screen, what's gonna end up happening is that you'll see them either glow like that, or you're gonna see a scan line show up. So when he was charging up, you saw a scan line. Well, you saw the aura burst. The aura burst that you'll see. Check it out. It turns red. See, they jump backwards. He turned red, and then you saw the line appear. They both did a special right there, and then right here he was glowing red, and then you saw that scan line appear. So that right there makes it tells you that they're about to do a special attack. There's a cool feature that I found earlier. It had to do, well, the snap vanish, which is really cool. You have the snap vanish element. Sorry about that. Snap vanish element. But you also have this cool feature where you can actually slow down time, and yeah, that's right. You can actually slow down time to pick and choose who you're about to hit, and basically follow up with some roundhouses. So he's trying to pick and choose who he's fighting. He's been focusing on Chaozu, and he does the super explosive wave. And there you go. So he moves super slow. As you guys can see, he's moving extra slow just to be able. just to be able to pick and choose who he wants to fight and who he wants to address. And with that focus, you could probably mix up quite a few things, like move super slowly, get out of a dangerous situation, and then head in for an attack. Using it simultaneously, and then exactly as you guys can see, he did that, so it knocked him backwards. The one thing that I'm noticing right now is that I know this is low level CPU right now. I know, and it maybe it's because of that their moves are more stiff than usual. But the one thing that I want is that this game should have a higher difficulty. If it has a higher, it has to have a higher difficulty. So even if we play this, let's say on hard mode, these particular CPU characters suck. You understand what I'm saying? That's a staple that Bandai needs to fix. Bandai is notorious for having games that even when you put them on extremely hard, they're still kind of soft. Bloodborne or something like that, even though that's not Bandai Namco. But we know Dark Souls, that's what I meant. Nonetheless, I'm hoping that this game in particular does have a harder mode, so that way even these low level CPU NPCs that we're about to fight, that we're fighting as training or just exhibition and whatnot, do give us a challenge. Yes, it does feel a little Budokai Tenkaichi-ish mixed with it's Budokai Tenkaichi. It's Xenoverse essentially. It has a lot of Xenoverse element into it. So there's a stun system, right? NPC went ahead and charged up his move and kicked you and kicked Piccolo. You have a charge bar down here or a stun bar. So if they hit you with a certain move that can stun you, there is basically it's like a stamina break. So you end up being in stun mode where they could go ahead and follow up with more moves. If you see right here, Tien has his own stun bar, and based off how many hits you accumulate against him, how many things you may block, or how many times you smash him, the stun bar depletes a lot faster. So here, if you guys see the follow-up thing on screen, it changes. So it doesn't just say square or X, it does different change. And then if you go ahead, this is called a break. So a break basically is when they do so this is what I meant with what I said with break. So if you go ahead and hit them enough times, there is a stun, they break, they're a stamina break. And then what you can go ahead and do is pull off flashy moves. Flashy moves essentially are your super attacks. When they're in stun mode, it goes into the cinematic, like you guys saw when Piccolo went ahead, did it blew up and all that stuff. And then when he did the special beam cannon, it looked flat. I get the gist of what I mean with the flashy moves. That probably is going to end up giving you decisive points or more points on your rating. So like if you, for example, are fighting Raditz and you're using Piccolo and it's the last portion where you're supposed to hit him with the special beam cannon, probably is going to tell you, in order to get, extra points, it's going to tell you perform a stun break special beam cannon on Raditz, and that's going to cause the trigger the cutscene, ideally when you hit him or whatnot. It's going to go ahead and when you do the break, it's going to go into the cutscene and so on and so forth. I mean, there's a good way of putting the interactivity with cutscenes and such. A lot of gameplay details. I know I'm going off and talking and spouting a lot, so I'm hoping that this video could be a little bit shorter. This is right here, giant battles. If you guys have ever played Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, this is very similar to it, but in this case you can actually fly, so the movements are going to be more like the giant battles in Xenoverse 2. Again, you may hate it, but Xenoverse 2 is a big staple in the 3D environmental video gaming when it comes down to Dragon Ball, when it comes down to quite the few battle modes right now at this point. of course, the original people who did this was the Ultimate Ninja Storm crew. This is Cyber 2 Connect's idea with the giant modes and whatnot, and you know, we show them love or whatever. There are many other games that obviously have done it before, but Cyber 2 Connect did it with Budokai Tenkaichi. They're bringing it back now with this. So the gameplay is a little dark, but apparently if there's this part right here, let me rewind this, because if you guys saw, whoever was playing was basically staying at a distance and shooting up a lot of beams or whatever the case might be. But apparently you'll get to one point where there's a cutscene, and you go ahead, and they didn't show that particular part of the cutscene. They just went ahead and skipped ahead into it right here, and then he goes ahead, you know, gets he gets blasted backwards, and then it cuts into this into the next cutscene where he starts going ahead and shooting, you know, all these beams or whatever. So that's the consecutive key energy blast. At the end of the day, this is nothing new. This is a staple with Cyber 2 Connect, you know, doing big boss battles and whatnot. The amazing animation for a video game is here. They go ahead and do it justice by, you know, pretty much being almost T for T with the actual manga as far as, you know, the source material and whatnot. I won't actually put this right here because you guys can go ahead and watch this in full HD versus watching it off of here over on my guy PS360 HD's channel, obviously. But overall, and at the end of the day, what's happening is that we've got a layout as to how the mechanics are going to work. A lot of the basic mechanics, a lot of the intuitive mechanics. I'm hoping that the game opens up and branches out, and it doesn't flop when it comes down to playability. I would like to be able to play this game and feel like every character plays a little bit different, which I highly doubt that that's going to happen. That's my point at that. End notes to all this. The game is going to be fun. It's going to have epic moments, and now with all the information that I've given you guys, I'm a believer that the game can possibly go all the way up to the end of the Cell Saga. It will not, more than likely won't go past that, saving Majin Buu and the Super arcs for the next adventure. And that's only in relation to the fact that we got the four main characters that we are being shown, and more than likely a fifth character in Trunks. Those are my points in this video. Hope you guys liked it. If you do, make sure you hit that thumbs up. I'm trying to go ahead and aim for 10. And if you guys are enjoying all the extra content, just make sure you stay tuned for more by hitting that sub, and keep on coming through here on Dbz Universe. That being said, DBGTX over and out.